Hey internet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay Ligero. Fancy seeing you here once again. Today we're going to be speaking about personality archetypes as tools. So we'll get right into this video. As with every video, if you would like to talk to me about this subject or anything else related to the cognitive functions or self-growth personality, you can book a video session with me below on my platform, Snug. So here we go. All right, so have you ever seen someone struggling with something? Maybe it's a task, maybe it is a perception or a status that they are trying to achieve and it's just not working out for them. And as they lose energy with the internal or external mess that they've created, it's not uncommon to hear things like, well, this is just how I am, or this is just because I'm not good at blank, or people just don't want to hear the truth that I have to say, right? You know, things in those categories. But how often does this actually come down to not what we do, but how we do it, and not what we say, but how we say it? So the question is by focusing on the what, how often are we bypassing the approach? So today I wanted to bring you the idea of using persona as an approach. Also, just basically using the right tool for the right job. We all inhabit an archetype, a persona, a set of tools. Yes, we are tools. We have sets of innate strengths and abilities that are default a part of our body's mental programming. And a lot of people, as a result of their own ego, believe that sacrificing the persona, even for a short amount of time, is some sort of cardinal sin. But then they have the audacity to complain that situations don't work out for them, things don't work out for them, people don't like them. The audacity. I mean, the audacity of you and myself. We all get stuck in our personal archetype and the limiting beliefs of what we can and cannot do. So what if you were able to change your persona, your archetype, according to the situation that's at hand? Now, I get it. Some people are going to certainly say, well, that's not authentic, that's fake, right? But my question to you is, since when does your identity have to be married to every little thing that you do? Why does your ego have to be attached to everything? Why do you have to do it in a manner that is so reflective of your default programming? The answer is that you don't. And yet we get stuck using a wrench to hammer in a nail, and we get pissed off when we're expending all this energy, the nail doesn't go in, and we've wasted a ton of time. Not the best tool for the job. So how do you start to use persona as a tool? And number one is just to simplify the task at hand. So overall, looking at the whole piece, what needs to be accomplished here? And this is where you really define the task, whether it's small or big, but looking at the whole, what really needs to be done. And number two is ask yourself what persona, what archetype, what functions would do this task best. All right, so this is where you want to take time to really analyze the task and start to paint a picture in your brain of the kind of person that would really excel at this role. And if you're someone who's knowledgeable in the cognitive functions, use the functions as a base. Be like, this situation is calling for this function and it's also calling for this function. And then use that as kind of the root to build your persona on top of. That is my usual preference. And number three is try it on, or as I like to say, wear it as a hat. Why a hat, you might ask? Well, a hat, it's temporary. You can put it on. It has a use. You put it on for a period of time. You don't have to go to sleep with it. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. And you can use it to shield your eyes from the sun. Once you go inside, you can take it off. Do the same thing with this persona. And also don't look at channeling a persona as a threat to your identity. You're just using a tool from the toolbox in a particular situation. You're just putting it on for a period of time, and whenever you want to, listen, you make the rules here. You're the boss of your own human. You can go back to your normal tools whenever you want to. So there is no threat to the self, only a mechanism to better and further your ability to manage what is going on for you. And also another tip here is initiating the approach on a scale. Like you can think from 1 to 100. 1 is your beautiful, brilliant ego, and 100 is the persona that you wish to personify. And what you can do is say, like, I'm going to go into this at like 10%, right? Not too far away. Or you can throw yourself all the way to the other end of the scale and just go all in. It's not always going to work when you initially test the persona. Sometimes there's more understanding and research of the archetype that needs to happen to really pull it off. And that's okay. That's part of the learning and throttling process from that scale of ego to persona, right? And a place where I did this was not so eloquently when I started my YouTube channel. I wanted to test cool YouTuber. Like, could I do that? What does that look like? Can I hit that archetype? I couldn't, and so now the version you get of me is just, the more ego-driven version. I mean, I still try in ways to be cool. Needless to say, is like I didn't hit that archetype, but I learned in the process of how to better navigate or not navigate in a certain direction. An example of where it has really worked for me is when I've tried to put on the hat of certain functions when I'm trying to do something that's social, or like if I'm trying to build up the strength for like a networking, or just to like call someone on the phone. Let's be honest. I'll put on the hat of another archetype and I'll be like, what is my vibe with this hat on? What is my language? What am I leading with my energy with this hat on? And those have proven to be quite valuable experiences. In conclusion, if you're finding something difficult, think of what kind of persona would find it easy, or at least easier. Create a persona based on the task at hand and try it on as an impersonal, tool-based approach. And that means if the persona fails, I mean, it really wasn't even you, wasn't really even your identity, so you're safe, you're good to go. Keep it going as a learning experience. I will see you guys in my next video. Till next time, goodbye, internet friends. Fancy seeing you back here on the internet. Today, my name is Lindsay and Lijo, and we're gonna do that again. Welcome back to Andy, no crying. We don't cry here. Looking at the whole thing as a whole,